I'm going to be right back. Oh, okay, it's good. Hello, everyone. My name is Dora Diaz. I am the president of the Osceola Democrats. We are here with Hanan Khan. He is running for Kissimmee commissioner seat. And we are also here with Lee Wright, our co-host. So Hanan, how would you say hello? This is called Spill the Tea. And I was wondering if you have your little coffee or tea with you, or if you can talk about the coffee that you drank this morning.
Oh, yes, definitely. I like coffee with cream only now because I had to cut back sugar. But right now I have a bottle of water because, I'm done by 8:30 drinking my coffee. So it's past my coffee time. But I have some cups here, coffee cup. You know that gentleman.
You put it a little bit higher?
Yes.
Oh, Abraham Lincoln.
Yes, ma'am. Then, if you recognize him, he's with us, General Grant.
Oh, cool.
And then I went to Alamo recently. So I got a cup, another, nothing is there.
A little bit higher?
Yeah.
Oh, yum. That's really cool. How was that trip?
It was great because you hear about Alamo, but once you get there and the location and the fort itself and what David Crockett and all his the folks went through, it's a very learning experience, and people should go and visit Alamo. And of course, right before that, if I may indulge into, I went for a course in National Fire Academy in Emmitsburg, and Gettysburg is right there within 10-15 miles. So I went there. That's how I got this, Lincoln Cup, and Grant is one of my favorite generals in the history, and also is that, so I'm a history, I'm a man of history. I like history.
Really fan of history, yeah. Yes.
And also a news junkie.
So, that's awesome.
Now I'll be drinking water and we'll talk.
You're in the right place because you're with a couple of teachers, so we appreciate history.
You're with two teachers who love history.
And right before the day of Memorial Day, I feel that we are standing on the shoulders of the giants, and you young folks, you are the future. I'm 60 plus, so I'm so grateful that that you are listening to me. You're going to listen to me, and I can do certain thing for the city, and I need your help. I want you to be my scouts, my messengers, and we can work together because you have newer ideas. And as Truman, President Truman, so he said that people are the same. It's when they are living through the history, because people pretty much react to the same way. So I appreciate that. This is really a moment where, as I said, we are standing on the shoulders of the giants, and we can only move forward. And
I love that. I love that optimism, and I think that is very important. And that's why we want to have these conversations with our local leaders, so that we can know exactly, hey, what are they doing? And we're trying to bridge that gap between everyone from young and from older and from different backgrounds. So I really do appreciate you saying that. Now, can you tell our viewers what position are you running for, and what does that office do, and who can vote for you?
Okay, so I'm running for City of Kissimmee Commission Seat 1. And so you have the mayor plus 4 commissioners, so total 5. So they, along with the city manager, they run the city practically, because city manager is an executive position, and the commissioners and the mayors, they're elected. So anything that goes in the city, whether the ordinance, any kind of planning, zoning, budget, any kind of departmental issues, city commission decides. So I'm the seat number 1, I'm running for Commission 1, of course. And the city manager, of course, he runs the city with 12 departments and 700 employees. So our job is to guide him, and that's going to be if I'm elected. And people who can vote, it's a citywide seat because we don't have any particular ward or a district, meaning I have to run from, if you remember the city map, we go to Boggy Creek, lakeside area, then come further west. If you go towards Valencia College area, that area picks up, because city's map, it's actually really, if you put your finger, it's like this. So over the years, county has retained certain businesses and certain locations. So our map has really, it's not a rectangular shape or a square or a circle. So it's more like, as I mentioned about Valencia College, from there, if you go to Michigan, it picks up from there, then it goes through Carroll and Hoagland, touches Osceola Parkway. You come through Hoagland again. You know how Hoagland comes to 192. From there, it comes to Oak, that golf courses area, pick up and Estancia, then John Young Parkway, then come down to our downtown Kissimmee, where the courthouse and all, and where I live on Drury Avenue by the Lakeshore Boulevard. So, so folks living here, those who are citizens, they can vote for me, and I'm counting on them to vote.
Oh, that is great. So listen, everyone in that Kissimmee area, he was very specific, and please consider Hanan as a candidate for you guys to vote for. And we want to know, we are personally the Osceola Young Democrats. How are you connecting to folks like us? What are your ideas to help young Democrats vote for you?
Well, the COVID-19 had changed a lot of things. So, and as Lee mentioned, can I call you Lee?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I've been, over the years, I've been monitoring, participating in the folks who believe in not only who believes in democratic principles and who work hard. So that's why I've been going to your meetings and trying to see what you're trying to achieve. And given the current situation, just like anybody else, you care about good jobs and provide for your family, have a safe place to live, raise your family, and move on. And the meetings that have gone to your folks, I see a lot of diversity, tolerance, respect, humility, and that encourages me. That as I said before, you are the future, and I'm as a public servant. I've never been arrogant with the power, because power comes and goes, and when I see your meetings, how you handle it, and I draw strength from it, and I'm like, God, we can work together, we can come up with ideas, draw strength, support each other. And I know you care about good jobs and all, and education. I know you're going to segment possibly one of the, separately, but I care about your issue, the financial situation, the affordable housing, the education, the sustainability, those kind of things. So I've been reading up, I've been researching really. See, the National Geographic came up with April 4, 2019 cities, and how modern cities like, Tokyo, Singapore, or Hong Kong, or Dubai, they are handling this sustainability, because, and I want to leave this place for the young people a better place. They can say, oh, somebody lived here, did something for us, or worked with us. That makes sense. And we care about the same thing. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and the thing that you mentioned that I'd like to have you go a little bit more deep into is you talked about being a public servant. So what kind of experience do you have, running for this position?
Well, you have to see me as an inside guy. I have been always a public servant. I started right after when I graduated from Barry University back in 1990. I went to work for, I think back in 94 with the state. I started with HRS, they became DCF now. And I did all their programs: investigation, protective supervision, adoption subsidy. And those are dealing with family sensitive issue, you understand, because that department does. And I worked in Broward County, and I always, judges too, and the guardian ad litem program, who has the best interest in mind. So that was my background. From there, I went to um, um, Division of Real Estate. I did work for a year over there. Then I became a health inspector back in 2007 until 2018. And then I took an early retirement, and I became a fire inspector. But even in my capacity as a health inspector, I always help the businesses, and not and grow and guide them as an enforcer of the food code or FDA guidelines. You are not just writing violations, you are helping them. And believe it, trust me, 99.9% business operators, they want to do the right thing. They want to make an honest living. So, and our goal, because I always thought myself I'm not only an inspector, I'm an investigator, I'm a research scientist, because I have to research the whole thing. I have to know better than them. And also cutting the red tape. I have seen people struggle trying to open up a restaurant or another business, and they get held up by some other things. And I'm like, what happened? Somebody dropped the ball. So I keep running with that and try to get them to the finish line. And people appreciated that. And so when I went back to the businesses, because I don't work for DBPR, there's no conflict of interest, all the businesses in Kissimmee, they are ready for me. I go there, look, I'm running for city commission. They say, Inspector, you are our inspector, but you did your job, and we're going to support you. So that cutting the red tape, I'm helping them. Even that I'm a city fire inspector for a neighboring city, I go there right now. It's so difficult for the businesses to communicate. Guess what I do? Through emails and phone call, I connect them. I do come across sometime on the part of bureaucrats making a comment like, oh, he or she is aware of it. For me, it's not good enough. I say, I can't accept that answer. Because people, when you give them that business tax receipt, hand over to them, their eyes light up, they smile because they have achieved something. There is a process of opening a business. You have a change of use, you have also the various fire inspection, then other, the health inspection comes in, and people do ask me question about that. I try to off the record help them out, because I can't officially talk about, because right now I'm a fire inspector, but all these different codes and requirements. So, I can streamline, I'll help them out. So those kind of experience, I'll bring it to the city commission, because I think that makes me a better candidate. Because dealing with public, I'm a public servant, but I'm looking forward to be a servant leader. That helps out.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You
Go ahead.
mentioned talking about being a health inspector and a fire code inspector, and I think that's like an interesting perspective to have right now with COVID-19 and small businesses starting to open up and restaurants starting to open up. But besides that experience, what other experience do you think would make you like a qualified candidate for this position for other aspects of the city?
Well, because right now I don't have any conflict of interest in the city of Kissimmee, so I have been helping with the current commissioners, because I know them, all of them are pretty much. So if my former businesses, because I work for a different city and they have an issue, they still call me. I connect them, and I see God. I help them, and also, I've been in touch with the current commissioners and previous commissioners, and I've been involved with the city's issues and try to learn about it and help with that issue. Also, I'm part of this, we have an loosely connected, it's not a formal homeowners association, it's more like it's a 501c association in if you look at Lakeshore, Drury, Monument Avenue, and we we pay a subscription once a year, and we work as in I'm now association president actually a few months back, and also we do other events like block party and so we know each other and we care about. So once you know that this neighborhood that I live in, I care about, and people trust me, and I think I can replicate the same thing with the other neighborhood, because the city of Kissimmee is not that big. If you as a state inspector, I used to cover with Osceola, Orange, Lake, and now once I'm back to my neighborhood, I'm like, I can do something. And I think I'm always out of the issues. I'm not hesitant to pick up the phone, and because I am kind of I'm not introvert in that way. You can say that I reach out to people, and I think I can make a difference. And I understand the issues in the sense that you have to understand when there's an issue comes up, I think about a qualitative approach and a quantitative approach. Quantitative is the numbers matter. What is the numbers? Are they talking to me good? Because statistics, garbage in, garbage out. If your data are not right, you'll have the bad outcome. You can, no matter how much you are looking for an outcome. So you have the quantitative issue. Qualitative, it is going to bring quality to this group of people who are trying to do certain things. So you have qualitative and quantitative issue, I think, and holistic approach overall. And I was talking to some folks yesterday, actually, right in the Three Sisters, we were talking, and I have a push-pull approach, because not only your staff, the city manager, the assistant city managers, and the department heads, they have recommendation, so they are coming up with something, and outside the box, as a city commissioner, I can pull that. So you have this push-pull situation where we call it in electronics, it can come into and city commission running, it's not a rocket science. It's very simple. We're all human beings. Rocket science, you have to be precise. You can't go wrong. People won't come back. It's not with the city commission. We are on the ground. We are solving a problem, and democracy works. Majority works, because you know why I believe in that? If you watch that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I'm sorry, we have a chihuahua. So Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, whenever you ask for a question, audience has the right answer. Every time, audience has the right answer. So I believe in democracy. I believe that I know everything. That's not the way I think. So I think we can do some good things here.
Well, Mr. Khan, I appreciate how involved in the community you are. I wish more citizens were as actively involved as you. But
thank you, sir.
Keeping with the kind of the COVID-19 style questions, because Osceola is a growing county, and I'm sure Kissimmee, being a major epicenter of Osceola, is also growing as well. So even before COVID-19, we had problems with affordable housing, but now we're seeing all these stories coming out of, landlords evicting their tenants, even though there's supposed to be a freeze on evictions and things like that. So how can you, as a city commissioner, impact or help the problem of affordable housing?
I'm glad that you asked this question, because I'm in touch with the, director of the building services, who is, in the forefront of this affordable housing. And we're neighbors too. So the main thing is that there are federal programs. You have the state SHIP program and the block grant, and cities, public, private, some program going on, as you are aware of it. And I'm proud of how they're handling it. But if the governor put an order that a landlord cannot evict tenant, it shouldn't happen. If there's a specific case, definitely the current commissioner and all, and if we have to look into that. That shouldn't happen. They are violating the direct order from a governor. So, and of course, in these tough times, you have to have compassion. My goal is to build on to that. As I was researching those, the 16 units by John Young Parkway, or there's a workforce coming by Sunrail, or other projects that Mosaic and others coming, there should be some units should be reserved so folks can afford that, So I'm going to build on to it. That's my goal. So I've been reading up on it. I'm learning about it. And my goal is to build how we can, because, we have a lot of folks from Disney and Universal, and I understand. And I've been in touch with the officials concerned, and my goal is to build onto that.
Well,
I hope does that clarify?
Yes, no, that was good. And I like how you're building on all these great things that Kissimmee's already doing.
True.
As being the Osceola Young Democrats, one of our big issues is the environment, obviously, with climate change. And,
right.
It's hard to talk about growth and affordable housing without talking about environmental sustainability. Like, how are we going to manage that growth? And I feel like Kissimmee's done a really interesting job of managing the growth, whether it be with the Green Initiative for Green Energy or with the waste management. So how do you plan on building on the environmental sustainability policies in Kissimmee?
That's a great question. I'm encouraged how the city take an initiative, green initiative. And also we are, the St. Cloud, I'm sorry, they're having water issue, that. And they have collage. We are really fortunate. We are praying, and of course, and I'm employed there too. And the main thing is that I have been, as I said, at National Geographic, if you have time, April 4, 2019, I've been reading up on it, how the cities are going high rise, because you are not growing lands. We have to in a city setting, we have to go more sustainability. So there is a thing I want to talk to you about, and that would be very enlightening. And I would recommend for you to, because you folks are young, you have, and you like to read, and it talks about how, let me see the page. And I just see every morning I wake up and I try to, so I'll read it from you. It's like my, 10 commandments is there to guide your life morally. To how to live sustainability, I follow this. And the plan they're talking about, the future planners or the current planners, actually, they're implementing. And the good thing is that 20 years ago, universities didn't have any sustainability program. And I'm so encouraged by the sustainability program. The plan allows ecology to guide development. Water sources are protected and systems are designed to capture, treat, and reuse it. Energy is renewable. We are using, solar energy and other renewable, then, and the city becomes more livable, even as it becomes more densely populated. All waste becomes a resource. We don't dump in the landfill. Food is grown locally and sustainably. High-speed rail improves mobility. We are already there, Sunrail. The culture and heritage of the increasingly diverse population are publicly supported. The infrastructure is carbon neutral and the economy is largely automated and online. So so that's like living now. Kinda, I don't want to, bring down to the 10 commandments that level, but that's a guiding principles for me. How we can, well, I was thinking, as I left the state to join a city to work for, that we can run for the hills. one of the things that got me that fired up, that I picked up a newspaper and how we are behind other cities as for the public safety. Whether you're a Republican, or a Democrat, or a neutral, doesn't matter. We all care about safety. Any political unit, whether it's a city, county, state, if you don't have focus on public safety, you're not going to move ahead. So as we go for the truly live in the 21st century, we need public safety. And I'm really impressed with the current commission. They did some body camera and other things, and providing other. And I work for the first responder now. I work for the fire department. So we need to have I know the city commission has got certain boards which are not meeting or doing their things, but still we need a public safety board also to advocate that, because you and I live in this city, how can we make it better? I have seen responses recently. Somebody broke into one of our neighbors, door and tried to get in, and how the response was very, very forceful and good, because we want to be safe. We have the young kids playing on the roadside, or you understand. So one of the things also along with that, because people have to be safe in their homes, their neighborhoods, and that's one of the things I'll be. So going back to your sustainability, I keep it by my bedside reading, and I'm trying to see, and I always brainstorm with my colleagues and the commissioners. Most of them we talk and see how we can improve upon.
Well, it's refreshing to hear somebody that respects integrity in journalism and research done by journalists. We've talked about the environment, we've talked about affordable housing, and you mentioned public safety as like a pressing need for Kissimmee.
Yes, sir.
Would you say that public safety is like the most pressing issue to you?
Not at the, as I said, right now it's economy, people need to get back to the job, businesses come back. But one of the things lurking around is that, because if you don't have the economy and people are not, making money, cannot pay their rent, and that's how society, there's a breakdown happens throughout history. Riots happen, people is going to start looting the stores and lawlessness. You can have that. In a democratic society, people who big democratic principle is the tolerance, and also law and order. Without law and order, we don't have anything. But definitely, we have to focus on the economy, get back to people's bread and butter issue, and how we can get the local businesses open up soon. And I really appreciate how cities had opened up the outdoor dining. That's kind of helping these businesses. And I see other cities, but the problem is still there. The virus is not going away yet. I think we kind of plateaued yet, or something like a flattening, but we still have a long way to go. So as I talked to some official, said that, budget wise, city of Kissimmee is doing good. They haven't laid off any people, and they are trying to bring them back. And overall, I'm really impressed how cities are doing it in Osceola County, and especially ours.
Well, Mr. Khan, I appreciate your time today. Like, you've answered our questions like pretty at length, and I appreciate your candor and how open you were to answering. And thank you for being here today, this day before Memorial Day. So we only have a couple more questions left for you. So,
Yes, sir.
I don't know, Dora, did you want to take over now?
I was having technical difficulties. I was like, Hanan, great job interviewing. And I just want to know just something lighthearted. What are some of your favorite places in Kissimmee to spend time with?
Well, now I used to be a health inspector, so I know all the places. So, but I definitely enjoy Three Sisters. My good friend Felix Ortiz, he owns the place. I go there. I go to Broadway. I go to Buchito. I know everybody, so I have to be careful. I don't want to hurt their feelings, but definitely I go there. The ice cream place, Abra the Cabra, and.
Yes.
Other than that, yeah, then of course, some of the business in the Loop area. Then Donegan has Galaxy Pizza. Then you have some traditional chain. Oh, I have a good friend, Kaitor, right on OBT and Columbia. I used to be his inspector. Then in 2018, I was, I ceased to be a health inspector. So I became his customer. If you like lamb and good fish curry, you should go there, Kaitor. And then you have Jalab. They have some good food there, Jamaican food. So we are really fortunate. How so my hope and pray that these businesses would come back to their 100% potential, and so I hope that answer your questions.
That is, that's a really interesting perspective just because it's coming from a health inspector. So it's like, okay, it makes me even love these places even more. So it's just really
After
interesting.
record, I'll give you some good tips.
I was like, okay, this is awesome. Well, Hanan, is there anything any last words that you want to let our viewers know? This is your chance for you to speak about a little bit more about your campaign before we end today.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that you took the time to listen to me. I've been working for several years. Oh, what happened? Can you see me now? I'm sorry, the laptop. So I've been researching, and I'm a professional student. I think I told you that I went to National Fire Academy recently, and that's an amazing place. And we do inspection locally. They always encourage you. So as a young folks, my point is that um, um, before I come to my agenda, I hope I got a couple of minutes. Um, um, I tell young people to think of career as a tree. So with the several branches, and if you have a branch not having enough fruits, go to the another branch. Cross train. I'm never bored with any particular subject, whether it's being accounting or geography or political science or fire code or your health code. So and my point is that if you don't know something, take a class. So that's the attitude. I'm a professional student. As I get into transfer from a public servant to a servant leader, that's what I think, how you can inspire people. Once you inspire people, they can do anything. And also the faith, it says faith can move mountains right behind me. And I think, as I said, I'm going to sum up by saying that um, um, this is a journey, and I've been preparing for it. And my wife, my family has been great in supporting in my journey, and they're my advisors. And also, so here is my brochure I came up with, and COVID-19 has changed a lot, but improving economy, getting back to those jobs and the businesses, and you need an inside man to help guide that process. Um, Also, I have solid infrastructure. As you drive around, I'm sure you get upset with some roads and they are not up to the par. There are holes in the road, and also the overall going back to that balancing growth and quality of life. And please, I recommend everybody to, if you can, National Geographic. And we can, to be a better citizen, we have to be focused on those things, how we can make things better. And I would hope folks in Kissimmee will vote for me. And you folks, you are my scouts. I mean, I don't mean to put it that way, like, please be my messengers, I request. That's why I asked of you that I'll be taking a holistic approach into things and make sure that where you want to be. So with that, I really thank you for your time, and your questions. They are very enlightening, and I'm enlightening to me, and I'm learning a lot in the process. I'm a lifelong student. Trust me.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. All right, everyone. We'll be coming soon with another interview. So stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.